Hi there, my name is Rosie. I'm from Rosie's Piano Studio. I teach online piano and I'm making this video to explain to my students how to do the 151 cadence for the technical requirements for level 5. So in the Royal Conservatory of Music in level 5, we're still doing our triads, hands together, for 2 octaves, but we're now adding a cadence at the end of the triads. I don't have a picture of the book, but here is the requirement. If you can see, tonic triads, hands together 2 octaves, ending with a 1-5-1 chord progression. So in your book, that will be at the end of the triads. Anyway, I'm going to explain to you what a 1-5-1 chord progression is, but a cadence would sound something like this. You'll hear that at the end of a piece, at the end of a portion of a piece. It gives a nice final feeling to the piece, and it's really beautiful. 1-5-1 cadences are very easy once you understand them, but it takes a little bit of getting used to get to that place. The easiest way to learn them is probably just to read them the way they are in the book and memorize it. But I don't believe in just memorizing, I believe in understanding. So here goes. I'm going to use as an example the C major scale, just because it's easy. My handwriting is not good, so feel free to ask me what I wrote. But again, I'm using the C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. As you know, there are no sharps or flats in C major, so I'm not adding any black keys. Now, as you may or may not know, each note in a scale, based on its position in the scale, has its own number and its own name. We use Roman numerals and so forth to number chords when we make chords on a scale. Well, what do I mean by that? Let's see. If I make a triad on the first note, C, E, G, that is a major third, that is a perfect fifth, discussion for a different day, but there's my basic C major triad. I name that the number 1 triad. It's an uppercase because it's major. You can hear that it's major, and I call that the tonic triad. Now each of these I can make a triad on as well. I'm not going to do all of them, but for the purposes of what we're doing today, we only need number 1 and number 5. So number 1 is the C major triad, called the tonic triad, and number 5 is the G major triad, called the dominant triad. Now when we make play the cadence, we want a smooth sound. We don't want C over here and G over there and back to there. So how do we get that smooth sound? Well, it's pretty easy. We look at the common tone between the 2 triads. Oopsie. G and G. You see that? Common tone. But now to get the nice smooth sound, we have to put it, the triad, arrange them in such a way that G is in the same position in the triad. Now remember, in a triad you have your root, your third, and your fifth. You can invert that triad. What does inversion mean? It means turn it upside down. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take this G and move it to the top. Now, as you can see, G is in the top position and G is in the top position. Now you simply go to the piano, put your pinkies on the G and play the chords. I shall demonstrate. Change the camera. Okay. There's my C major in root position. C, E, G. My pinky is on the G. In the left hand, I play the tonic note. What is the tonic note? The first note of the scale of C major, which is C. Then I keep my pinky there because G's in the top position, but remember my second triad is G, B, D. So I already have G, now I have to find B and D. And I join those with playing the tonic of the root note of my G major triad in the left hand, G. And back to C. Now I need to point out that in this arrangement, the tonic triad is in its root position. And I'm going to show you a little shortcut. The shortcut is temporary until you get it. I go from the C major, and to get to my dominant triad, I simply lower the middle note by a whole tone, 2 baby steps, and the bottom one a half step, 1 baby step, and back. You see? Down a whole step, down a half step, and back. Now, you quick ones might ask, but what if I want to put G in a different position? Well, no problem. The fact is that in the book, they are in fact using C major in its first inversion. So let's have a look at that for a moment. I'm going to go to the next page. So we had our C major triad and our G major triad. Well, what they do in the book is they actually put G in the middle. This is a little bit more complicated, and I don't like to start teaching cadences in this position. But all you do is you rearrange so that G is in the middle. So how do we do that? We take C up. C is now at the top. We review C. We have E, G, C. But now we have to make sure that G is in the middle over here as well. So I'm going to put G here. And I'm going to put B and D above it. Oops, that's not right. I'm getting confused. Should be D. See, even teachers get confused. G, B, D, B, D, G, D, G, B. It's just because I have to think fast. There's my D, G, B. You see? So now, this guy is in the middle. What would that sound like? Well, let's see. I'm going to put it on my hands. Now, instead of having it C here, I'm moving it to here. I still just play my tonic note in the left hand. Now G is going to stay in the middle, but remember our notes for G are G, B, and D. You can rearrange it so that G is the tonic note, the root note I should say, in which case you would have. So many ways to do it. I think you can notice that I'm not planning to do a lot of editing on these videos. I hope I haven't made any mistakes. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be making a similar video with less detail, but for the minor scale 151 cadences. These are also called authentic cadences. Good luck and enjoy.